Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Hi, if you're new, my name is Tori. I read nothing but fantasy books in May. Well, I'm still reading because May's not over, but I'm still reading a lot of fantasy books. But I mean, it was all fantasy, epic, low, magical realism. It's been a fantastic month for me. Kind of in a similar fashion, like reading nothing but fantasy. For the month of June, I'm going to be reading nothing but, you guessed it by the title, science fiction. I feel like every month I get really amped up by the books that I choose to read for the month, but there's something about this stack sitting right in front of me that just, I think there are some phenomenal books in here waiting for me. So let's keep the intro short and get right into what I'm going to be reading for the month of June. The first book I have here is Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? I love that title so much, and this is by Philip K. Dick. The movie Blade Runner was based off of this novel, and I don't admit this to too many people, but I've seen Blade Runner enough times now to probably recite Ryan Gosling's lines. That's a little excessive, just a little bit. This book takes place in 2021, which is crazy to think that that's only like a couple of years away. But in the future, World War has devastated everything, and so now we have a lot of human-like androids walking around amongst humans. The government is afraid of them and just the havoc that they could cause, and so instead of being retired, androids have learned to blend in with the rest of us, which is crazy. And so our main character, Rick Deckard, he is a bounty hunter, and so he is responsible for going out and finding them and killing them, but androids start fighting back. And it's not really pretty when they do. So we just have a lot of tension between humans and androids who are like humans, and it's all set against the backdrop of a really cool sounding society. So, or maybe not that cool because there's a lot of devastation too, but I'm really looking forward to this book. So that is the first science fiction book of June. The next book that I have here, like, you all chose this book on Instagram for me, and I'm really happy. I'm sorry I make you guys do work when you watch my stories. I know you just like come for the books and you want to see what I'm reading, and then I make you do polls and everything. You all ended up choosing Ancient, and this is by Kini Abuda Salam. This is a collection of short fiction that actually, it sort of blends the line between, many of the stories blend the line between fantasy and science fiction, which is just so intriguing to me. I love when authors can mesh genres together. It's so great. And so this collection is just dealing with, it sounds like a lot of different things. We have a lot of themes in here of magic and sensuality and sexuality, and it sounds like there's a lot of mythological influence on a lot of the stories. So the description kind of explains it as Salam is exploring, yes, these futuristic type worlds, but it's also just very familiar to our own world and our own struggles, and just how we can take these stories and use them to reflect on our everyday lives. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think you all made a really great choice. I like when you all help choose my TBR for the month. It's actually really exciting. The next book that I have here, oh my gosh, that is Snow Crash, and this is by Neal Stephenson. This, you guys, is going to be my first Neal Stephenson novel. I have 3 of them behind me that also have not been read yet. So in Snow Crash, we have this main character named Hero. His name is Hero Protagonist. I mean, so we have Hero Protagonist, and by day he's a pizza delivery boy, and it sounds like by night he roams this online world called the metaverse, and Hero is trying to protect not only the online world, but it sounds like maybe also our world from hackers and destruction. And somehow, in the midst of all of that, somehow Neal Stephenson is able to weave in Sumerian mythology. I don't know how that works either, but we're gonna find out. So if you all have read Snow Crash, like, definitely let me know, because I feel like this is pretty popular. A lot of people have read this book. A lot of people love this book. So yeah, this might be, I think I'm jumping into Neal Stephenson in a good spot. The next book that I have here, oh my god, this one, you all might want to just write this, go to your Goodreads and just open it up and bookmark this book. This is Here and Now and Then, and this is by Mike Chen. This sounds incredible. We have this man named Ken Stewart, and he's just living an everyday life. He's an IT guy. He's like working on his marriage. He's trying to connect with his teenage daughter, Miranda. The story, though, just takes like this huge twist when you find out that Ken is actually a time-traveling agent from the year like 21 something. And so his team, he was on a time-traveling mission to our current present, and something went wrong and he got left behind. And so it's been about 18 years that he's been living in her kind of immediate time period, and his team one day comes back for him from the future and they're like, oh no, you've only been gone a couple of weeks, and your wife has missed you, all this kind of stuff, and you're like, what? He has a whole other family. It's just, oh my god. Something also ends up happening to Ken's daughter Miranda, and so it sounds like he's traveling through time in all these different places to save her, and we'll see what happens. I'm eager just to see which family he chooses. The next book that I'm going to be reading in June is A Memory Called Empire, and this is by Arcady Martine. I love that name so much. So this is a space opera. Our main character Mahit, she is traveling to the capital of this interstellar empire, and she's taking up a new post. But when she gets to where she's going, she finds that her predecessor is dead, and things just go to crap really, really quickly. So not only is her predecessor dead, but someone is trying to kill her too now. So she's trying to figure out who killed the predecessor, who's after her. She's also trying to save her, like, a mining colony from interstellar expansion. This book sounds wild. The next book that I will be reading in June should come as no surprise because I already spoiled it in one of my other videos, and that is The Windup Girl by Paolo Bacigalupi. I think this is probably going to be the most dense piece of fiction on the list that I'll be reading for the month, because like I said, I've tried to read this book in the past but just wasn't really in the mindset to do it, but I'm ready now. So this book takes place in Thailand, and we have a lot of calorie corporations controlling the society. And so our main character, Anderson Lake, he is what's known as a calorie man, and so he gets kind of wrapped up with this genetically engineered woman. I don't know what she is, but she's called a wind-up girl. And so their paths cross against the backdrop of corrupt calorie corporations and Thailand in the future. And you see how this sounds like a lot. Yeah, I'll just put it down. The next book that I will be reading in June, this is another one where I just so looking forward to it because I've never read anything like this before, and that is If Then by Kate Hopeday. This is a work of speculative fiction, and we have this small town in Oregon, and we have like this small cast of characters who are all neighbors, and suddenly these neighbors start experiencing their parallel lives or encountering their parallel selves in different realities. Like, just for example, one of the women in the town, she recently lost her mother. And then all of a sudden she's seeing like apparitions of her mother everywhere, just happy and healthy and, you know, living life. And then we have another woman who she sees someone in her bed who's not her husband, and it's just another parallel life that could have happened. I'm really hyped up for this book. Like I said, I'm gonna be my own hype person for the month because this sounds amazing. And it's really short too. If this is good, I love when authors can put such big ideas into small spaces. You see what I'm talking about? Good stack right here. And finally, you guys, this is it right here. I've only like kind of on the train where I like reading new releases. I don't know when that started, but it's been happening quite frequently this year. But even though I've been reading having a lot of new releases on my radar, I've only been really anticipating 2 of them. And that was Exhalation by Ted Chiang, which I will be doing a review for this weekend. The book was incredible. I was like waiting on that book like a hawk. And then this one right here. This is the second book that I've been waiting on. It got on my radar a few months ago, and I was just like, I need that and like everything associated with it. And that is Do You Dream of Terra 2 by Timmy O. I'm getting really excited just thinking about this. This will be the first book that I read in June. This book, it's such a simple premise, but I love things like this. We have this, so 100 years ago, this team of scientists, they discovered an Earth-like planet that can sustain life. And so we have this crew of 10 people. Some of them are veterans, like space veterans, if that's what you can call them. Some of them are veterans, and then others are teenagers who have trained to go into space like their whole lives. And so we have this small team responsible for going to this Earth-like planet to basically ensure humanity's survival. And the journey takes 23 years. It's a one-way trip. There's no coming back. And I mean, 23 years in close quarters, 23 years with the same people. It's just, I love it so much. I love the premise of this so much. So this I really am hoping that this lives up to the hype in my mind. The author, Temi O, she actually lives in the UK, so this was published in the UK, and so I do not believe that it is out yet in the United States. I ordered this from the Book Depository and it took 2 weeks to get here. I just really hope this book is good. I just want to treasure it and love it. So that is it, you guys. That is, whoa, that's a lot of books. But as you can see, this is a pretty ambitious June TBR. But you know what? I'm not stressing because the Philip K. Dick book, that's small. These two down here, these are small. I really think the ones that are going to take the biggest chunk of my time is going to be Terra 2. Maybe not even that because I think it's going to move quickly. But definitely the Windup Girl. I'm going to be on the longest. So this just makes me so happy. Thank you for watching this video, everybody. I hope you are having a great May. I hope you have a fantastic June. Let me know down in the comments what you plan on reading next month. Let me know if you have read any of these phenomenal sounding books right here. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.